All right, let's do it. Question one. Can you tell people what cerebral palsy is?
So, cerebral palsy.
And is that pronounced right? Or is it cerebral palsy?
I mean, that's six of one, half a dozen of the other. Like, it's just one of them
Absolutely,
where
buddy.
it doesn't matter
Absolutely.
how you pronounce it. It's just what it is. People still know what you're referring to.
Yeah.
But cerebral palsy, best way I can describe it is it's a condition that develops normally during birth or shortly after birth that affects certain movements and muscle tone due to like abnormal brain development. So like with me, it's mainly my legs, right? And a little bit in my hands. Not too much in my hands, but obviously with anything you get certain cases that are worse than others. You get certain cases that are better than others. Luckily, I've had a great escape. It's only the bottom part of me.
Regarding the you said it happens because of brain development and stuff, and I want to say anybody who's talked to you for more than 5 minutes can understand that part of it.
Absolutely, John. Absolutely. So, obviously, you've been doing this for a good couple of years now, but could you go into detail on what your condition is, AMC?
Yeah, AMC is the more commonly known name right now. It stands for arthrogryposis multiplex congenital, and it affects the muscles in the joints during development in the womb. Similar to yours, actually, being that it happens, yours can potentially happen in the womb. Mine can only happen during development in the womb, and it also can be a variety of cases from very, very mild to very, very severe. I fall probably right in the middle of the spectrum, being that it's affect both my upper body limbs and my lower body limbs. There's people that have it just affect one or the other, just their arms or just their legs. And then there's also the extreme where people are just like where they have their arms and legs are so distorted they can't get out of bed, they're confined to a bed, and even that could be very uncomfortable. Even Marcus Frederiksen, who does the music for both the brands, the Boiling Point Podcast and Mayhem Media, he had arthrogryposis and he ended up having his feet amputated. So, as I said, it definitely falls within a wide range of effective how it can affect people. Question two: what are some of the daily difficulties that you deal with cerebral palsy, or CP, as we will call it further?
So, with me, one of the main difficulties I have is just like moving around. Like, I think the biggest thing for me is transport. Like, in
I can
the
relate.
in the apartment and like in the confines of my own apartment, I'm going to call it my bubble because that's basically what it is. Like in the confines of my own bubble, no issues whatsoever. Like I can get out of bed all right, I can go to the toilet perfectly fine, I can get changed, everything like that's fine. I think the biggest thing for me, like the daily difficulties, would be if I was like going from mine to the store, I'd have to make sure that the scooter's roadworthy. I'd have to make sure that it's plenty charged because we all know what happens when these things die. It's like, oh great, now we've got to deal with this, and this, and it's really just a massive ball ache. But for me, I think the main difficulty for me would literally just be transportation. Like if I was going out into the real world, so to speak, it would
Yeah.
be a transportation thing. And again, I'll reverse that question to you. What are your daily difficulties with AMC?
I would definitely have to relate on the transportation front. Going anywhere where I would need to get into a vehicle or something like that, where anywhere I can't take my chair, just drive my chair itself is a pain in the butt, big time. So
Yes.
there's been a recent program here that you can arrange social transportation. It's for social transportation. So I've used it a couple times. A couple times it's worked out. A couple times it hasn't. So it's hit or miss when you want to do that. And if you don't have a van or a vehicle or something that can carry the wheelchair, then yeah, it's pretty much a pain in the butt. So yeah, I stay at home too, but anywhere I can get to, I do try and get out of the house, and anywhere where I can get to in my chair is somewhere where I do try and go.
So with you and the transportation, is it kind of like where you have to book it in advance, or how does
Yeah,
the transportation
way in
thing?
advance. The further out, the better. Yeah, at least I mean they say 7 to 10 days. I go with like 14 to 21.
Just so that you can make sure you've got ample preparation to make sure
Yeah,
everything
not
is
only that.
as you need it when you need it.
Yeah, not only that, but I can also that way I can also call and confirm, hey, has it been picked up? Has the service been picked up? And then it gives me hopefully it gives me maybe at least a couple of days, even if I do it like 3 weeks, then 3 or 4 days beforehand, and then again I'll check and call and see has the vendor picked it up, and then I'll check again.
And just follow it up, yeah.
Yeah, and then because of the last time, I'm gonna follow up once we're within 24 hours or like less than 48. I'm gonna follow up again to make sure, because the last time that didn't work.
Gotcha.
Even when they told me that someone had picked it up. So, but it was too far out. So I need to call closer to when it's actually the deadline. And that's the problem though. Your plans pretty much, like when I make plans to go out, I set up two scenarios. Can I go out and do my plans? And what happens if I can't? Or what happens if transportation doesn't show up?
You always need that.
That way the days, that way the day is not wasted.
Yeah. It's like, if you can't do this, okay, what can I do instead? And then can I come back to this at a later date?
Yeah, absolutely. Connor, what are some of the easiest things that you found to overcome what would be the normal life? And then what are some of the harder things?
I mean, the easiest thing for me, I say easiest because nothing's ever easy. But I'd say the less stressful things to overcome has literally just been like making adaptations to the apartment, making sure there's rails just in case I need it, like adapting bathrooms, kitchens. That's been the easiest thing.
Wow.
Funnily enough, like most people would say that's the hardest thing to do.
We will in America.
But like the easiest thing has probably been making sure that the apartment or wherever I'm living is suitably adapted to one's special needs, so to speak. But I think the hardest thing is, don't get me wrong, the easiest thing is putting those things in place. The hardest thing is making sure they actually can do it.
Yeah, I would agree with the hardest of both of those things.
It's like, it's all good saying, the easiest part is like, oh yeah, the plan is put that there, put that there, put everything in position. This is how we want it mapped out to make it as normalized as possible, right? There is no such definition for normal. Like, I don't care who you are, what you say, there is no such definition for the word normal.
Yeah, that's why we keep doing the air quotes when we say it.
Does not exist. Normal definitely does not exist. Like, the easiest thing is to plan it out and be like, okay, we need that over there, we need that over there. The hardest thing is actually making sure they can do it. So, what are the easiest things and the hardest things that you've experienced that you can say, okay, this is the easiest thing I've had to overcome? And on the other side, what's the hardest thing you've had to overcome?
The easiest things, I would say, I don't know why, but I've always been gifted with the ability to like figure out some of the small stuff. So like you at home, I'm almost 100% self-sufficient. I guess I'd probably put it like 80 or 85%. I transfer myself in and out of bed. The only thing I can't do is get in the fridge. I feed myself, drink. So for meals and stuff, I need help. But like other than that, like my free time, I can pretty much do anything I want. I have everything set up where I want it. So I'd say some of the smaller stuff has been some of the easier things to figure out. And the harder things are definitely, and the harder things to even come to terms with, which we're going to talk about later, is like using the bathroom. I need assistance for that. That's hard to overcome sometimes, especially transferring myself. Transferring is a difficult task.
Yeah.
So and also finding assistance. I would say finding assistance is also not easy, at least here in this area, in the central Pennsylvania area. In my opinion, it's not easy to find agencies and stuff. There's services available, but it's not easy to find agencies
Yeah.
that can come in. What are some of the what we would call normal or everyday activities that maybe other people can that they can do, they take maybe for granted, or maybe they don't take it for granted, but other that most people can do, that it might be more of a challenge for you to do, or that's more of a hassle or a task that you've been able to still overcome to do something?
I mean, for me, like the things that have taken like the most work to kind of be like, okay, so this is as easy as I can do this to make it as easy for me. Would literally just be the simple things like going to the grocery store, because I cannot tell you how many times it has been a pain in my ass to try and drive a mobility scooter while pushing a shopping cart. That is it. It's a very interesting skill that one has to master.
Do you know what I do when I go to the grocery store? This is a little sidebar here. I go up to the customer service desk and ask them if someone can help me shop.
See, I would do that, but there's not that much customer service in stores over here.
Oh, there's not. There's times where it's only two people.
Legit, like you're
If they
lucky.
can't listen to me, let me. This is another sidebar here, but listen to me. Don't be afraid to ask for help, because if they can't, then they shouldn't be afraid to tell you no.
Yeah,
And that's something that people that who are watching this should understand. That even if somebody like us asks for help, yeah, it's usually because chances are it's because we need the help, but it doesn't obligate you to just help us. In my opinion, that's my opinion. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So just because we ask for help doesn't mean you can't. If you're a store and we ask for help and there's a lot of things and you just can't, that's what you have to do. That's just the way it is.
yeah,
So like, don't ever be afraid to just say, no, I'm sorry, I can't, right now, or you have to wait. Or, I mean, there's been times where I've had to wait for 10 or 15 minutes at a grocery store for someone to be able to assist me, because the customer service line is backed all the way up. But
yep,
that's just the way it is. Like we talked about earlier, if agencies and stuff were a little bit better here in the area, then I'd have assistance and I wouldn't have to ask the grocery store to do it. But when I don't have that and I do need some assistance, or I need more than I can actually carry myself, or need things from the shelf that I know I can't get, then usually that's what I do.
yeah.
Back to your part of the question.
I mean, yeah. So, like, especially with grocery stores, it's a very interesting skill to master with a shopping cart and a mobility scooter. I've had interesting moments where the mobility scooter has crashed into the shopping cart and vice versa. I've had times where, for some reason, I'm driving straight and the shopping cart just wants to take me in a different direction. So I've kind of done a Tokyo drift around the grocery store. That's been mildly entertaining. But it's just the simple things like reaching the top shelf. Even in the apartment, like, I have cupboards and shit that do have higher shelves, but I just don't use them because I'm like,
Yeah.
I have to do that. I'm going to have to try and pole vault myself onto the counter to then get into the top shelf. And I'm like, okay, keep everything on the bottom shelf. That way I can just walk in, and just literally walk in, grab what I need, walk out.
Reaching is definitely an issue for sure. Yeah.
I mean, I'm what? 5 feet, literally 5 feet. So height is not my biggest advantage.
Yeah.
And especially if anyone knows me personally, I do a lot of wrestling, jiu-jitsu. I'm at the gym all the time. And honestly, that's not the hardest thing I've had to adapt, because luckily when I do the wrestling and I'm in the gym and I'm doing the jiu-jitsu and I'm training for all these fights, I've been blessed with very good teams that really just look at me and like, if you can't physically do it, then there are ways to adapt it. If it doesn't look the same as everyone else, it doesn't really matter. Like, no one should give a shit if there's a tiny little portion that doesn't look the same as what everyone else is doing. If you have to do it a certain way, then so be it. If people don't understand that, then that's their problem and they need re-educating.
That's excellent. That's awesome, actually.
But for you, what's been the most interesting things that you've had to make?
Well, I definitely agree with you about the like adapting your home, you know, making sure that the things are where you can reach it, not just with cupboards, but like with shelves, with anything, you know what I mean? Yeah. All my podcast stuff, my desk, I have a desk and a table that I have set up for the stuff that I do. You know, I have a TV sitting right above my computer monitor for when I want to watch TV. I got my own corner of the house here, you know, that's separate from the living room. So like adapting my quarters is definitely something that usually I do, even anytime I move or whatever. That's always the first thing. I don't know about you, but that's the first thing that I do is I set up my quarters, you know, my area, my bedroom, and wherever I'm going to be working, my workstation.
Yeah.
As long as I have those two set up, then the rest of it doesn't matter. And a bathroom, I guess, that I can use. That's important too.
So like with your desk, it's kind of like, okay, this is John's area. And it's John's area only. This is my workstation. This is my office. No one comes in without a pass.
Yeah. Even my nephew, he likes to come up to my desk and like put things on my desk, but he never takes anything off of my desk and he doesn't play at my desk. So even he knows that he's not to be messing there. So yeah.
He understands that there's the boundary. One shall not cross it while you are working.
Yeah. But in terms of like some other stuff, like shooting a gun for the first time was really special to me and really stands out as a memory because I really wanted to do that. So me and my brother Josh, he's J-Man on a few things that he does for the show, for the Boiling Point podcast. But he helped me figure out a way to shoot guns, and then also shooting fireworks off for the first time was also pretty awesome. We used to go camping. So every year during that camping trip, we'd go for like a full weekend, like 5 or 6 days. And every year during that weekend, I would try and do something new, whatever it was. So it kind of became a yearly tradition for a couple of years when we were going camping. So, and those were some things. Shooting a gun for the first time was pretty awesome. And then shooting fireworks off was pretty awesome. So,
I mean,
those are some of the personal things.
Shooting a gun is definitely on my list for the next time I go to the States. Just going to the range and shooting a gun. That is definitely on the list of stuff I want to do in the States.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a shotgun, and that's what I shot. I haven't figured out a way for me to shoot a handgun or a pistol yet, but we're working on a couple of ideas, and I think we're going to have to, it's going to cost some money because we're likely going to have to build or have a gunsmith build me some kind of custom made handgun of some kind. So that'll likely take money, but I can fire long guns like shotguns, rifles. So I can do that.
What would you go for a handgun? Desert Eagle, 50 cal?
Oh no, M1911. M1911.
Nice.
Either that or a Colt 45.
Colt 45 and 2
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. I knew you were gonna go there. Go there, but yeah, no. The M1911 or like a Colt 45 or something like that, or maybe a Glock, or honestly, I'd probably have all three.
To be fair, you could probably have a corner of the house that is literally just your weapons corner.
As soon as I figure out how to fire a handgun, like what do I need? Like whether it's a little handle on the front maybe or something. Like I got a couple of ideas. As soon as I figure that out, yeah, I'll have a 1911. I'll likely get myself a Glock.
Nice.
I don't know about a revolver. I wouldn't mind having one, but I don't know that I could actually fire a revolver. They're really top heavy, so I don't know about that. But yeah, I wouldn't mind having a couple once I figure out how.